Well, this is interesting. Hello Procrastinator, Sam here, and today we have some brand new information for me to share with you guys regarding Sonic Superstars. In addition, I also have some updated information regarding some things I talked about in my last video. I'll get the updated information out of the way first. In my last video, I wasn't sure if there was going to be an online capability with this game, more specifically online co-op. Sadly, I can confirm now that the game does not have online co-op as of right now. Now, that doesn't mean the game doesn't have any online. There is an online battle mode from what I've heard. We don't know exactly what that mode is or how it plays, but there is an online component, but there is no online co-op right now. They are just advertising local co-op. And I already explained my thoughts on this in the last video, but I do wish this game did have online co-op. Not everyone's gonna have a local friend nearby to play games with. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the new information. And my God, this is kind of a bombshell. It really is a behind the scenes look at how this game came to be and why we are where we are now. So I'm gonna go right into this brand new article. This article comes from the Video Game Chronicles. Oshima, who is credited as designing Sonic and providing art for the franchise's earliest games, will be returning for his first series entry in over 20 years with Sonic Superstars. Sonic Team boss Takashi Iizuka said in an interview at Summer Game Fest on Saturday that he had originally intended to collaborate again with developer Christian Whitehead, who directed 2017 Sonic Mania, but plans fell through. What? Iizuka then approached Oshima, who worked on the original Sonic the Hedgehog and other entries in the 90s, to lead the next 2D game with his development team, which is best known for developing titles such as Hey, Pikmin, and Yoshi's New Island. Sonic Mania developer Headcanon and Christian Whitehead are not involved, Iizuka confirmed. When we were making Sonic Mania and the game was finished and Chris was done, we had conversations with Chris and the team about the next 2D game we make should be. We had some concepts and ideas laid out between the teams, but we couldn't kick off the project, and so it disappeared for a while with Chris and the team. I am friends with a lot of my old coworkers, and I was having a conversation with Oshima-san about how we should make a Sonic game together and if he'd be interested. He's the original creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, and so we had a conversation about whether his company, Arzest, would be interested in working on a Sonic game. So there were ideas with Chris and the team that fell through. Sonic Superstars is really all developed by Arzest, but Sonic Team in Japan is working with them on design and some other elements. Arzest and Oshima-san are 100% the developers of the game. Iizuka explained that he feels he could trust Oshima's team because of his valuable experience working on the original Sonic games. Oshima is best known as the creator of Sonic's character design. But Iizuka said few people know that he actually designed many levels too. What Oshima-san really brings is his classic Sonic experience. Having worked on Sonic 1 and Sonic 2D, he has an understanding of how to make a true classic Sonic game. A lot of people think Oshima-san just came in and thought what Sonic would look like, drew the character, and that was it. But he was also doing level design on Sonic 1, in addition to drawing and creating the character. So he has that experience of making a Sonic game because he did level design for the original game. In addition, Iizuka revealed that Sonic 3 composer Jun Sonoe will be leading audio on Superstars. When we talk about people who are still around who worked on the classic Sonic games, there are not a lot of people who are actively creating games left over from that really small group. But there are 3 people: myself, Oshima-san, and the third is Jun Sonoe at Sega, who did the music for Sonic 3 back in the day. He is also participating in the development of Sonic Superstars. Jun is the music director on the game and is really focused on making it sound like a classic game. But obviously he's not sat around creating all that music himself. He's working with internal teams at Sega to create music in that classic Sonic vibe, and he's also working with external teams such as T. Lopes, who helped on the music in Sonic Mania. Yeah, so there was a lot to unpack there, so let's go at this one at a time. So after reading this article, a lot of things became clear to me. Now, when the Sonic Superstars was announced, so one of the main things I was surprised by was the fact that this game was even made in the first place, and the fact that it was made by Sonic Team, at least so I thought. And the reason that makes sense to me is because Sonic Team lately has not been known to work on multiple projects at once. They used to back in the day, and if they do have involvement in multiple projects, it's usually small, which is what they're doing here. They have some involvement, but they're not taking the helm for the game. So who is Arzest? Arzest is the company that Oshima owns. Like this article described, they worked on multiple projects in the past, including Balan Wonderworld when that whole fiasco happened, but they weren't the ones that made Balan Wonderworld, they just helped. But the big bombshell from this story is that Iizuka very clearly states that Sega and Sonic Team originally fully intended, to work with the Sonic Mania developers, Evening Star. But for one reason or another, plans fell through. Now, I just want to say this before jumping in that I'm happy with how Sonic Superstars is looking. The game looks fantastic. The game looks like it plays fantastic. The levels look great. Everything looks fantastic. So at the end of the day, no matter what I talk about here, that's what's most important, is that the final product that's going to be given to consumers and us Sonic fans is going to be great, and it looks like it's going to be great so far. So that's a good thing. In the end of the day, no matter what we talk about, it's a good thing that the product itself looks like it's in good hands at the very least. But learning this news is nothing short of shocking. The Sonic Mania developers, the developers, the fans that we looked up to, and that's what made Sonic Mania special, was that it was made by fans for fans, and they wanted to do that again, and that's something that a lot of us as fans figured that it would be an only natural thing to happen. We were wondering when Sonic Mania 2 was going to happen, but for one reason or another, probably due to businesses or contracts, they ended up falling through, which is kind of a shame. Can you imagine what it would have been like if we have this game being worked on with Oshima-san as well as the fans? That would have been such a surreal moment, but it looks like that moment has been robbed from us for one reason or another. I don't know why. Again, most likely business decisions. But it's not all bad for the Evening Star team. I do want to make that clear. We know very much that Evening Star is working on their own projects. That has been confirmed for a while. They announced this a while back. They've been working on their own stuff. So it's not like, you know, the team hasn't been able to do anything. They're working on their own personal projects, and that's good. I'm happy they're able to do that. And again, in the end, I'm happy Sonic Superstars is in good hands. RZ seems to be doing a good job with what they have and the assets given to them from the Mania team. And you could definitely tell this game, at the very least, is definitely running on some sort of engine made by the Mania team, because the game looks like it is running pretty much one-to-one like the physics in Mania. There has been a lot of comparison videos to this. People have pretty much proven this before getting their hands on the game, that the character motions and the movements and the physics are pretty much one-to-one with like Mania, and that's great. That is awesome. But I could definitely tell that this story is probably going to stir up just a little bit of controversy behind this title, because I'm surprised they even shared this in an article, really. I'm surprised, because this seems like such a business behind closed door thing to happen that they probably wouldn't want people to really know about. But yeah, they were originally going to work with the Mania team, and for one reason or another, things didn't work out. Regardless, again, I'm happy the game, at the very least, is still in good hands. It looks like it's a good game, great design, and again, we'll see how the game is once I get my hands on it, but so far so good. It looks like it's doing very well, and at the very least, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy RZ looks like they're kicking butt making this game, and Oshima does look like he knows what he's doing. I will add, though, that when they're listing the number of people who are still from the OG team that are making games now, they don't seem to mention Yasuhara, and I'm wondering why. I actually really hope one day Yasuhara can come back and work on Sonic. He's worked on a lot of great projects since Sonic the Hedgehog. You guys should look at his track record, but if you guys don't know, Yasuhara was actually the person who designed a lot of Sonic's level designs as well with Oshima, especially Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. He really designed those levels well, and I really hope one day Yasuhara could come back, because you could tell his level design was a lot different from Oshima's. You could tell from Sonic 1, Sonic CD versus Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Regardless, in the end, it still was a collaborative effort between everyone on the team. So I hope in the end we get as many OG people as possible. That would be the best thing in the future, is if we got Oshima, Yasuhara, and the Mania team. The next 2D game needs to have all three of those. I think that will be a 10 out of 10 perfect experience at that point. At that point, I would be super, Jesus, take the wheel. I totally trust you guys with my life making this game. Like, that'd just be crazy. There is also the big news that Jun Sonoe is indeed the one behind this music, but I gotta be honest, that wasn't a surprise. After hearing a lot of the songs that we hear in the demo, a lot of it is using Sonic 4 music as placeholder music, but there is some new tracks that are in there that sound just like Sonic 4. I knew it was Jun Sonoe all along. Now, if you guys watched my live stream talking about this footage of the demos, it is placeholder music, so all this stuff is subject to change, even the new stuff, so we don't know if that stuff is going to stay. I didn't hate the music I was hearing, but the instruments are literally just the Sonic 4 instruments, so not a huge fan of that, to be honest with you. But it is really great to hear that T. Lopes is once again working on the music for this game, just like in Sonic Mania, and that is fantastic. I love T. Lopes' work. He kicks ass every single time. It's definitely going to be a collaborative effort, though, between June and T. Lopes. I'm happy to hear that, and I really hope T. Lopes gets a lot of areas where he gets to make a lot of music, and I hope it isn't like, you know, he only gets to make a little bit and June makes the whole thing. I really hope there's an even split at the very least, because I really do think T really knows how to make music for that classic Sonic feel. No disrespect to Jun Senoue, he makes great music, you guys know that. I freaking love Jun Senoue, especially when it comes to modern music. But I won't lie, when it comes to the Genesis music, I do feel like that's where Jun kind of starts to falter a little bit, just a little bit. And I will say, it's not so much the music itself that he's making, I think it's more so just the instruments trying to mimic that Genesis feel. I just don't like the synthesizer he uses for Sonic 4. I just feel like they all sound a little too much the same. Regardless, that's just my opinion. I think this game is going to have a fantastic soundtrack. So far from what I've heard, things sound great. People that played the game say it sound great, and I'm really happy to hear that. But yeah, I really want to know your guys' thoughts regarding everything I talked about today. It's not a lot, but they are a pretty big bombshell. But I will say this, in the end, once again, I am really happy with how Sonic Superstars is looking. I'm happy RSS and the team are really taking care of it, treating this like a proper classic Sonic title and treating it with respect, putting a lot of hard work in it, and you could tell this game has a lot of hard work put into it. And I'm really excited for it. I really am. It is a shame the Mania team wasn't behind this project. It's a shame that they weren't able to work on the next classic 2D game. But it doesn't look like the door is closed for them forever. I'm sure there will be an opportunity for them to work on it in the future. For one reason or another, it didn't work this time, but who's to say it won't work again in the future? Regardless, Sonic Superstars looks like it's going to be a great time, and I'm really happy Oshima and the team are really kicking butt. And the game is coming out soon. I'm really excited to play it. I really am. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting the channel. We recently passed 45,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet and you are a huge Sonic fan, hit the subscribe button. This is a great community we have here. We talk about everything Sonic the Hedgehog, and I will talk about everything leading up to Superstars release, and I will cover the game once it comes out as well, with a review and Let's Plays and live streams, you name it. I do everything I can for Sonic the Hedgehog and this community. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate you guys letting me do what I love to do every single day. With that said, this is Sam, signing out. See you later, Procrastinators.